Greetings everyone, I hope you're all well. So today in this kind of video, I'm going to be touching on something that I kind of really like to do, and that's propagating. In particular, I'm going to be talking about propagating Ficus Microcarpas. These ones are my favourite of all of the ficuses. These ones are my favourite, so I love propagating these. Now, I know a lot of people have their own way of doing things, which is great, because I have my way of doing it, which works for me, and other people have their way of doing things, which works for them. Yeah. Anyway, so oh dear, it's one of those days again. Time to get a little rude. No, I'm not going to go there. So anyway, a lot of people put their cuttings in water, and I've tried this, and I've had like zero results with it. Like zero, I mean like less than zero. They practically just die and just give up, and that's pretty much it really. Now on the flip side, I have more success with using a heat mat, for example, and humidity. So either using something like a propagator, like these type things, like something like this, like a propagator. So for example, this one, as you can see, it's got lots of stuff in it. There are some vicuses in these as well, some microcarpas, because they're quite small and they're still rooting. So yeah, these are great, and I literally just put this on a heat mat and then forget about them, and they kind of root really fast, because if you keep the lid closed and the vent on the lid closed as well, like this flippy bit here, if you keep that closed, you see all that moisture coming off there, the humidity, that's what really does it. It works for me anyway. So for me, putting them in just water, it just fails every time. But when I do this, when I put them in like a propagator over a heat mat, regardless of what time of year it is, it could be like freezing cold winter, and they always propagate, and they propagate probably within a week or two, depending on the size of the actual cuttings, if you know what I mean. So with that in mind, some of them are actually a bit too tall to go into those, and once they've rooted, like this kind of guy here, once they've rooted, I kind of still want to keep them humid. Now I've got the fishing tank thing going on over there, which you might have seen in another video, so I won't show you that again. But that's been like, from my experience with that so far, it's been like super fast way of getting sort of roots and new growth. There is a grow bulb above it as well, which you can probably see in a previous video. So anyway, so moving on to the next stage, I thought, well, okay, I've got no more room left in the tank basically, but I've got room left on the heat mats. So what I'm going to show you is a simple trick that you can use with my favourite little things, yogurt pots. Well, yogurt if you're American, or yogurt if you're British. Tomatoes, potatoes, and all that kind of stuff. But these little babies, they're ideal. I mean, I'm not going to go into all of the keeping the planet green, keeping the granite clean. Is that even a thing? I told you it's one of those days. We might get a little bit rude here, but no. So yeah, keeping the planet greener. But I mean, recycling is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? So, and I'm hoping this is going to work for you guys as well. Okay, cheers. Okay, so the next stage for these, I think one of them has rooted, one of them hasn't rooted. So it's going to be interesting to see. I should label them really, shouldn't I? Like something like, let me see if I've got some labels. I I don't think I've got any labels handy, so yeah, don't worry about that. Let's just get on with it. So yeah, what I'm going to do is make some mini greenhouses, because it really works. I can't stress that enough. It's the humidity side that really plays the part. It's the heat and the humidity for these little dudes that really gets the roots going, and they go fast. So what I'm going to do is show you what I basically do. So obviously all you need is some yogurt pots. If you've got some like with this kind of rim and that are see-through like this, like transparent, even better. Why transparent? Well, when they're transparent you'll see the roots, so you'll know when they're rooting. Obviously if they're white or something, like, you know, you won't be able to see the roots. So yeah, nothing rude to be inserted here. So what I'm going to do is basically make some little greenhouses with these, like so. And what that means is that they can stay in these little greenhouses for longer as they grow, and then, you know, they can then move on to something bigger later on. The other advantage as well with this is you might actually start getting more aerial roots if the temperature's right and the humidity's right. For aerial roots you want to get sort of a really high humidity, around about 80%, maybe a little bit more. I have my heat mats set to about 26.5 degrees C, and they get yeah, they get very humid. So I mean, you can see inside these already from when I've just taken them off. So anyway, what I'm going to do is show you how I do it. It's nothing sort of rocket sciencey, but it's just a little trick that I'm hoping that some of you guys can try, and let us know how you get on with it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got a little sort of pokey, pointy, sticky type thing here. If you haven't got anything like this, then you can use the wire which you'll be using, which this is a 1mm diameter sort of wire thickness. You can use this, but you know, for the sake of safety and all that kind of stuff, make sure that you isolate the heat from your hand, because if you try and heat this up on the end here, the heat will obviously travel into your hand, and it'll be very owy. So, you know, be careful. But for the sake of safety, I will be using this because it's got a wooden handle and this bad boy. So the first thing you want to do is get your yogurt pots. Obviously plant one of your cuttings in some soil if you like, or sand, whatever you prefer. Mine's just bog standard compost soil, slightly moist, because you need it moist for the humidity. And get the other one, and you literally just stick it over the top like so. And then what I'm going to do is try and keep it lined up, because the next part is vital, because the last thing you want to do is this, keep knocking them over, or if you've got a window open, if you've got cats, pets, children, you know, all those fun things that you just, you know, can't predict. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is literally just heat this up. Now this is going to be fun because, as you know, I've got the camera in between me, so... And I'm going to create 3 holes. So the first one will be here. Hold them still, push it right through, wiggle it about a bit and pull it out. Now when you've done that, keep hold of it, get your wire. Push that through, just give it a twist, a couple of twists like that, and then you can cut that one off. Bend it underneath if you like, so you don't keep catching your hand on it or whatever. And the next one, we're going to just rotate it round to the next corner and do the same thing again. And what this will basically do is, obviously it'll keep the humidity in, so it'll act like a little tiny greenhouse. So again, push that through. I mean, ideally, I should have, you can, I mean, I have on another one, but because these ones are quite tall, I've put the these bits on the corners, where if they're shorter, what you can do is move them to the edges here, and then they'll act like hinges. Okay, so that's going to be the magic part. I'm just going to trim that off there and give it a bend and tuck it underneath. So there you go, you got like sort of a bit of a flappage thing going on there. So yeah, like I said, if you want it to hinge more, then obviously move the hinges here and here, and then the next part, it will just be a middle one just here. Push it down, give it a little wiggle, take it out, get your wire, push it through, and there we go. That's all you need, right? And then all I'm going to do here is just do one twist, like so, and tuck it underneath like that. That will keep, I mean, you can literally pick it up, that's going nowhere, and that will keep the moisture, the humidity inside. Stick that on a heat mat, and you'll be laughing. Give it a couple of weeks, and check the roots on it. You know, keep an eye on it. This is why clear pots is better, because you can keep an eye on the roots. This is the best way that I've come up with so far, that it really works for me. I've had 0 failures so far. They really do thrive in there, and you can tell because there's new growth as well. You'll get, like, as the roots are developing, you'll start getting new growth as well, especially if you have an indoor you know, those things over there. I can't get my words out. Oh, that over there, the light thing, you know. Yeah, oh dear, yeah, it's been one of those days today. So so there, that's that one. So I'll do the same again with the other one. Just move that one out of the way and stick that one on the mat. And this red thing here, these are actually used for baking, and I use these a lot for a lot of things involving heat, because it's a silicon mat. And if you know anything about silicon, it's kind of heat resistant to very high temperatures. And yeah, I use it for like waxing and all kinds of things, because the wax just literally just when it's set, it will just peel off afterwards. But that's something else completely different. So I'm going to do this other one as well, just to show you in case. Yeah. So I got this one here as well. So again, with the pot, just stick it on the top there. Try and get it nice and level with the other pot. Grab your stick. I got this needly thing, I think probably either off Amazon or eBay or from a craft store. So this time I'll put it there and try and create a hinge. But I mean, this one is a bit too tall for a hinge anyway, but just to give you an idea. Get your wire. Try and get your wire. There you go. A couple of twists. And tuck it underneath. I had to get a new one of these torches. That they never seem to last very well, you know. It's like no matter how much you spend, the electric igniter things don't last very long, and it's really annoying. So I've made sure I've kept the box this time, because I got this one off Amazon, and the last one I got off Amazon, and it only lasted me less than a month, but I lost the box and everything, so I couldn't send it back. So I've kept it this time, because if this one doesn't last, it's definitely going back. So yeah, there we go. So I'm super excited about the next video that I'm going to be doing as well. I don't know when I'll be doing that. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, who knows. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. So yeah, so there we go. So by doing that, we've created a hinge, see, so we can see what's going on. But obviously if it's too tall, you won't be able to flip it back without damaging the leaves or whatever. But that's just the idea anyway. So put that down. Do the last one. Now, I mean, I know a lot of you know that I'm based in the UK, so this is why we kind of... What am I doing? It was me saying that about heating up the wire, and what do I do? Oh! What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. Something about nothing, no doubt. What was I saying? I was going to say something. Ah, Jay. What are you doing, lad? I don't know. I really don't know. What was I saying? I was going to say something. Yeah, it's gone. Oh, that'll do. There we go. So that's all I'm going to do, is just one little turn and then tuck those bits underneath there, and that's it. Your job's a good one. So you can literally just pick it up, and you know, they're totally safe. If somebody, like your kid, your cat, your dog, your gerbil, your parrot come along, your hawk, your zebra, whatever you like, comes over, you know, he's not going anywhere. Right? I told you it's going to be a crazy day. So there we go. That's so yeah. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. Oh dear, there's another one there as well. So yeah, but see how misty they're all getting? So that's what you need, that's what you want. You want it to get nice and humid, because they love them. You mean, you got to remember they are like sort of tropically type things, so they thrive on humidity and heat, probably as much so as sun, you know. And a lot of people forget that, so don't forget that. I think that's pretty much it. I was going to say something else, but I can't think what it was. I'm going to have a think and pause the video, and if I remember, I'll come back. I remembered. I was basically saying, before I got sidetracked by my own hypermanic episode, or if you like, that because I live in the UK, the temperatures, especially this time in the year, which is sort of, I don't know if it's still classed as late winter, early spring, but the temperatures aren't brilliant here, and neither are the energy prices. But that's another story. Anyway, yeah, see, I keep getting sidetracked. And yeah, so the temperatures here are really bad. They're really cold. So in order to get these bad boys to grow quicker, you have to kind of mimic their environment. And the only way I can do that without a greenhouse, because I can't have a greenhouse, is to make my own greenhouse in the house, if you know what I mean. Which is why I have that fish tank over there. I know I've shown it to you before, but I'll show it you again in case you're new to my channel or whatever. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is the tank that I basically set up. We've got these propagating units here, which are fully closed, because these keep in the humidity when they're closed instead of being open. There are some seeds in some, and cuttings as well, with a mix and match of different stuffs. This one over here is kind of like I suppose it's a hospital station. And you can see how droopy this guy's looking, so I've had to put him on here and hoping that he's going to not die on me. And the same with this one over here, which was an experiment I did with one of those dodgy Benjamina Natashas that are really finicky, and they don't like anything. They don't like being wired, they don't like being bent, they don't like a lot of things, to be honest. So I won't be bothering with them again. So I'm trying to save them before it's a last kind of attempt. This one actually made as a tanuki, which is like a kind of false kind of thing, but yeah, I won't go into that because I don't think it's going to survive anyway. And this one was one of the Ficus benjaminas, the normal ones that was on Big Ben. I think it's video 1 maybe, I featured Big Ben, and this was one of them that I managed to separate because they were all starting to merge, so I kind of just separated them, and this guy is looking really, yeah, sort of limp and whatever. So I'm trying to basically rescue those guys. These other ones in bags are that's a microcarpa. That is the one I did in another video where I completely chopped it off, and starting again with this one. That was Mr. Pretzel, that's the guy. So this one was Mr. Pretzel here, and I just ended up just chopping him off, putting a bag over it, sitting on a heat mat, and you can see all the condensation of the humidity. And same with this one. These are all Ficus Microcarpa cuttings in there. So again, just using a bag because I've run out of everything else. The little guys over there, the ones that I've just shown you, all lined up there. This is the bulb that I'm using at the moment. It's an LED bulb. It's got I've got it off Amazon. The lamp sucks. I'm not even going to tell you about the lamp. It's just weighted down by this skull thing with beads in it. If I take that off, the whole thing will just literally just fall over. It's so badly designed, but that's all I could find to get this lamp to fit into this bulb. The bulb emits red, blue and ultraviolet light. These are like cuttings of God, I don't know what their proper name is. Well, I do, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to bother. Something Afra, but they're basically called an elephant bush. These are all cuttings off those. I'm trying to root and propagate sort of thing, because they don't need heat or anything. They just need mainly light and yeah, neglect. So they're just there, just chilling. In the tank is just like a rainforest. All manner of things in there, just sort of cooking away. The other microcarpa's in there as well, and he was one of the other ones that I sort of videoed around the same time as Mr. Pretzel. This one was the leggy growth one that's in there, and yeah, I've had a look at him and he's getting some little tiny leaves appearing, which is awesome. So the humidity and the heat is definitely key here, not so much the light but the humidity. The light will help keep the leaves smaller, and obviously they need light anyway, obviously, but that one's actually set at 27 degrees because I want that heat, I want that humidity to, oh, look at that light, it's gone blue. Yeah, so, oh, hello, Trippy. A ravio. This is going to be my next video. Can't look away, that's where you're going to get. So anyway, I think that's it anyway, so I hope this helps. I hope I haven't just been talking gibberish for the last half an hour or something. But if you're in the UK and you want to propagate ficuses, then I highly recommend you just get onto Facebook, try and get everything second hand if you can. Recycle is obviously a good thing. Just a small fishing tank with a lid on it, perspex lid. The handle is like a little skull one that I just glued on with a glue gun just so I can take it on and off. The actual top does warp slightly because of the heat, so I have to keep rotating the lid to make sure that it's kind of like fairly sealed, if you know what I mean. Otherwise it starts to warp. Heat mats, you can get those with a thermostat, an automatic thermostat. You can get those off Amazon. They're reasonably cheap. They're the same things that you use for, or similar things you use for, like lizards, and yeah, like for propagating, for plants and stuff. So it's just literally the whole tank is just sat on one here. The thermostat goes, the little thermometer thermostat thing is this wire here, which goes inside, and it's actually inside one of the pots. I don't know which one it is. I think it might be the bigger one. So that basically decides the temperature of the inside the tank there. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I hope it helps, and you know, like I said, this has been the best way for me anyway, where I live, you know, in the beautiful UK, beautiful rain, wind, sleet, snow, hardly any sun or warmth. So, but obviously if you're in a more warmer location, you might not need the heat mat, but you'll still need the humidity. And so give that a go. I mean, you can do it with other things as well, you know, it doesn't have to be a yogurt pot. It all depends on the size of your cutting that you're trying to do it with. I think with microcarpas you can pretty much use any kind of thickness, but obviously the thicker it is, the bigger it is, the longer it's going to take to propagate. See, with the other thing I was going to say as well was with the when I did it with water, just water on its own. The other thing I tried was even doing it with rooting hormone powder over there, and it still kept failing. If I just do the cuttings in water and nothing else, they start losing leaves, and the leaves start getting droopy, and they eventually fall off. It's all about the balance process again of roots and leaves. If you don't have an equal balance of them, then there's obviously an imbalance, and then that causes problems like leaf drop and all that kind of stuff. So with this method, I've not had to remove any leaves, but obviously if you have more leaves, and you know, then obviously there will be problems, you know, because all that energy is going to be going back into the leaves instead of the roots. So what you can do is reduce the cutting, reduce the amount of leaves on your cutting. I mean, this one's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got 2 big leaves, and then it's got 2 little ones, or 2 or 3 little ones coming through here. They're like a lighter green. What you can actually do is like cut the bigger leaves in half as well, and that'll be a good way of conserving the energy and putting it into the roots instead. So that's another little tip, but I'm sure many of you already know these, but it's, you know, just in case there's like some new guys out there that are looking to propagate. You know, we're all at different levels in the learning process, and like I said, we all have our own ways that work for us. So this is mainly like aimed at anybody out there that seems to be struggling like I did with water, just using water, and looking for alternative ways. So that's pretty much it. I hope I've been of help to somebody. I'm just gonna have to clean up all my mess now. I hope it's been of help to somebody at least. You know, even if it just helps one person, you know, my job's done. So yeah, happy propagating. It doesn't matter what time of year you do these either. It doesn't matter where you take the cuttings from, what part of the stem. Like other things, you know, they normally say to take the cutting below a bud or something. These, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you do it. It'll root where it wants to root, you know. So the best advice I can give you is to make sure that you plant enough of the cutting in the actual compost where it stays nice and warm and moist. That'll give you more chance of roots. There you go. I think that's everything. I've covered everything that I can regarding these babies. They are so much fun. I can't stress that enough. They are so much fun to work with. They're brilliant, and you know, they'll give you a lot of joy later on when they've grown, and you know, you'll look back at them and go, oh man, do you remember that when I had that in that stupid yogurt pot? God, that was such a good idea. That dude was, you know, he wasn't talking poop, he was, you know. Enough. I gotta go before I say something I shouldn't. Guys, take care. Alright, have a good weekend, maybe what's left of it, I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't even know what day it is. Dude, just go. Okay, I'm going now. Alright, take care guys, honestly. Have a good day, have a good evening, stay blessed and all that good stuff. Right, take care.